Rosie and Gina are just, I think, great examples of what being a student athlete's about. Both of them academically have been stellar, and definitely their contribution to the program. They've won over almost 100 games in their career here, and there's a lot of people that have been a part of that. But there's something to be said about the intensity they bring into practice, their competitiveness, and their expectations to winning, and how that becomes contagious within a program.
And can you kind of big picture of how this season has been and the transition that the ladies have gone through to get through where they're at?
I think, again, talking about our seniors, and they've done a great job leading this team. From the moment we started with practice and in the fall workouts to where we're at right now, just really taking a great focused approach to how we need to go into games, into practice, how we respond after big wins and how we respond after disappointing losses. And I think this team's been resilient. I think this team has, really shown that they belong in the Mountain West and they can compete and really contest for conference championships. And that's what we're going to need to do as we finish off our conference as well as going into the tournament.
What was your thoughts, your viewpoint of Rosie when you were just, when you were coaching against her first off?
Rosie was a player that you had to game plan for. She was a starred player on your scouting report. I remember competing against her, just trying to figure out what shot we could give up to Rosie, because she was such a good shooter and she was, so potent. And she's really benefited a lot from some great guards that have created good shots for her. But, she's just, I think, one of the best shooters in the country. I think she's a tremendous defender, and that's what gets overlooked by Rosie quite a bit, is how she can change the face of the game through her defensive intensity.
Yeah, and then, having coached her now, can you talk about the ways you've tried to utilize her?
Well, what a shooter like Rosie can do for you is not just, hit threes and stretch the defense out, but she can also be somebody that can help other people be better, because you can set her up on the weak side, and now a weak side defender has to decide if they're going to help on penetration in the post, or are they going to stay out on her. If they stay out on her, that's opening up the lane for Taylor and Kiki and for other post players. So also a great screener. You want to use your best shooters as great screeners, because now you're going to compromise defense significantly. So we try to utilize her that way. She's also, I think, developed more of her game in the paint. She's gotten to the foul line, I think, a little bit more. She, collapses the defense a little bit off of her backdoor cuts, and she just stays really active.
And you touched up a little bit on this, but she's going to leave as the career steals leader here.
Yeah.
Can you talk about, is she like kind of is it misleading her defensive impact that she has on the game?
I don't think it's misleading. I think opponents know that, and I've started to notice people try and keep the ball away from Rosie's side of the floor. So she just reads things really well. I think she's mentally one step ahead of the offense. Sometimes she anticipates well, and she's long, and she's not afraid to use her length. She's also a versatile defender. She can guard the post, and she can also guard the ball.
And your thoughts on UNLV and the importance of finishing this regular season strong?
It's really important. UNLV is a team that competes really hard. They just came off of a great road win at Boise State. They've got, I think, one of the best post players in our conference, maybe the freshman of the year. We'll see how it comes out inside, and then a great scorer out on the perimeter, Kelly Thompson. So it's going to be a really tough opponent, and we'd love to have a great crowd here to help send our seniors off, as well as help us finish off regular season strong.